Hi friends, my name is Bharat D, URK20CS2113. Today we are going to see creating application using inheritance in object-oriented programming lab session experiment 9. Experiment number 5. The first question given for me is develop a Java application using inheritance as per the following. Create a class called shape. Use this class to store two double type values that could be used to compute the area of figures. Derive two specific classes called triangle, rectangle, and from the superclass shape and the superclass and the necessary setters. This is how I'm going to do my program. Now let's go to the code. Uh, let's go to the code and let's go to the superclass named shape. This is my code here. First, I've created a class named shape where I've created a double name height and width, where the height is equal to height and width is equal to width, where public double get height is equal to height and double get width, otherwise it returns width. Now let's go to the class question one. First we'll go to rectangle. First, I created a class named rectangle which extends from the shape, which is the superclass. The public double is the get area and returns the height and the width. Now let's go to the triangle. The triangle is I've created a class named triangle which extends from the superclass named shape, where public class gets area, where it gets height and width. Now let's go to the question number 1, where I've created a class named question number 1, which is the main class here. First, I've given a scanner function here and a boolean status is equal to true. Then I've given a small menu driven function here. If the user gets to print the area, if he wants area for rectangle, he can print area for rectangle, area for triangle, he can print area for rectangle, or exit. These are the choices given for the user. First, it prints as enter the length and enter the breadth, and if it is a rectangle, and it sets the values as x and y and prints the area of a rectangle. Then we go to the case 2, where it takes from the shape as the superclass, it enters the base, because for a triangle we can't give as a length and breadth, and next it takes as enter the height, then it prints enter triangle is equal to new triangle and prints area of a triangle, and it breaks the statement. And case 3 is if the following are status equal to false, it breaks up and prints out as enter a valid choice, because in the menu driven function there are only 3 options. If the user gets to pick the 4th option, which is an invalid choice, it prints as enter a valid choice and comes out of the program. This is how the program runs. Let's run the program. Now let's take area of a rectangle. Now let's print the length as 1 and the breadth as 2. The area of the rectangle is 2. Now let's give it for triangle. Let's give base as 1 and then the area of triangle is 1. This is how the program is done. Now let's go to the second program. The second program given for me is consider the fuel rates in state-wise as per the given table below. Create a Java application to calculate the fuel cost consumed by the customer. Create a superclass called fuel with the few attributes such as fuel name, state, cost, add the function. This is how we are going to do the program. The values are given here: Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, petrol, diesel, kerosene, and auto LPG gas. Now let's go to the code here. Now first we need to create a superclass here. First, the superclass is the fuel. First it asks the customer name, state, and the cost. If the customer name, he prints the customer name, then he prints the state and returns the state, where then the cost. This is how the superclass is done. Now let's go to Tamil Nadu. This is here I've created a class named Tamil Nadu which extends from the superclass named fuel. I've given a scanner function and state name Tamil Nadu. Then first void I've given as a petrol, where it asks to enter the customer name to know the price, and then it asks the cost of the petrol is we have already included here. The cost of the petrol is 97.46 rupees. Then enter the number of liters required, and it doubles the amount, so it doubles the liter. So name the name of the customer, then name of the state, liters consumed, petrol petrol consumed per price. The same thing applies for diesel here. The customer name, customer price differs because the values changes here 96.08, and the next enter the number of liters required, name of the customer, name of the state, liters consumed, cost of the diesel. Now let's come kerosene here. Enter the customer name, cost of the kerosene per liter, and enter the number of liters required, name of the customer, state, and kerosene consumed, cost of the total kerosene consumed here. Now let's go to void LPG. The same thing applies here, the same scenario here. The cost is 70. Now let's go to the other state as Kerala, where I've declared it here. Here also I've created a class named Kerala, which extends from a superclass named fuel. I've given a scanner function. The first void petrol, and the price changes from the other states, and the same scenario applies here for also diesel. Also the same scenario applies here. Enter the name of the customer, the price is being given here, and enter the number of liters required, the name of the customer, state. The same scenario applies for kerosene and LPG. Now let's go to Karnataka, the other state. Here I've created a class named Karnataka, which extends from a superclass named fuel. This I've given a scanner function in state named Karnataka. Void petrol, diesel, kerosene, and LPG. The same thing applies as the remaining two states. Now let's go to the final class. I've created a class named QA5, where this is I've given a scanner function here. Here it is like a small menu-driven function where the user gets to pick which state he needs to select: Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka. If he prints any other options, it gives us an invalid option. Here it is given select the option to calculate as petrol, diesel, kerosene, and LPG gas, as there are 4 components here. This is the like a menu-driven function for Tamil Nadu. If user gets petrol, it breaks, and if the 4 options are there, the system case for it breaks and comes out. And otherwise, if we prints any other option, it prints as an invalid statement. Then it asks, do you want to continue with Tamil Nadu? If we give yes, it continues. Otherwise, it comes out of Tamil Nadu and comes to the main page, where you can also choose other states as Kerala and Karnataka. The same scenario applies here, and also for Karnataka here. Then the user gets to select the option petrol, diesel. If he prints the wrong option, it prints as invalid option, and it prints as invalid option, and he comes out of the function here. After everything here, it prints as invalid option, and asks, do you want to continue? If you pass continue, it continues to the main function. Otherwise, it comes out of the function and prints thank you. This is how the program is done. Thank you, friends.